Thanks, Chris. I'm here with Carrie Walsh Jennings. And Carrie, you've won the Manhattan Beach Open 5 times. What would it mean to you to win a 6th time with your new partner, Whitney Pavlik?
It would mean the world. I haven't been in a final in a long time. I haven't won a final in a long time. I think since the Olympics, which is nonsense. So this is the best tournament of the year. It's the best tournament the AVP has. I want to win. Whitney's going for a 3-peat. I want to get her that 3-peat, and I want to get my name back on the pier.
Well, and Carrie, you missed the finals in Salt Lake City, and now you're back in the finals, playing at the most prestigious event on the AVP Tour. What is that like for you?
It's awesome. It feels right. You know, I feel at home. I'm not nervous. I'm really excited, and I can't wait just to focus on us. You know, there's so much hoopla, and this is such a prestigious tournament, but we just need to go out there and play volleyball like I know how. Best thing is that my goal is to win for the Jennings family, and then my husband gets to win for himself and for our family. So it's a huge day, and I'm so motivated, and I just want to play well.
All right, Carrie, thank you so much, and good luck. Chris?
Thank you, Amanda. And yes, her husband, Casey Jennings, he'll be in the men's final later on. Dane, here we are in Manhattan Beach, California, 66 degrees, a cloudy day with some wind coming off the ocean. But look at this setting, a little throwback to the 70s and early 80s. No bleachers, everyone just bring your chair up and have a good time.
I love that they went the throwback style. It is packed in here. This is how they used to do it in the old days. The only thing separating the fans from the players are those small banners, and it's just very nostalgic here in Manhattan Beach.
Brooke Sweat, our first server. Walsh Jennings on 2, perfect dig. And Fatma with a little poke over the net, past the hand of Walsh Jennings, 1-0.
The fact that Brooke Sweat and Jen Fatma have really had Walsh and Pavlik's number is going to serve them well here in the final, because they're very nervous. This is a place that they have not been.
And Pavlik, aggressive swing from the right side, just out of reach of Brooke Sweat, and we're all tied up at 1.
Yeah, speaking with Carrie Walsh and Whitney Pavlik, it's all about being aggressive here early. They do not want to get off to a slow start.
Pavlik in transition from the left side. Dug by Fatma. And the poke shot going right to Pavlik. Chance for the point. Rally continues. And Fatma's shot is wide. And when you have defensive players like Brooke Sweat and Whitney Pavlik and blockers like Fatma and Carrie Walsh Jennings, expect long rallies, Dane.
Yeah, it's a prototypical modern-day beach volleyball team. You have the tall blocker at the net in Walsh and Fatma, and you have that great defender in Sweat and Pavlik, and they're going to go at it back and forth right now. Sweat hits that one long. It's going to be important for them to execute and to play consistent here.
You mentioned the nerves. Everyone has them. Here you are in the Manhattan Beach Open final. A couple of balls just missing long and wide. And a great cut shot by Sweat from the left side. Makes it 2-3 here in the first set. Jen Fatma going back to serve, 6'3", 31 years of age. As you mentioned in the Open, won a bronze in Berlin with Brooke Sweat 2 weeks ago on the World Tour. And that shot goes wide, so we're all tied up at 3.
Yeah, that's one of those things that Whitney Pavlik has to work on, being aggressive, being able to hit out of system. When that set's just a little bit off the net, she needs to make sure that that ball's in the court.
And because that wind's coming off the ocean, will we see them go right to left, especially on that side? You saw Whitney go from the right side to the left side.
Yeah, you will. They have the court in a diagonal position, actually, which is a little bit untraditional. It takes away the good side, bad side, and kind of equalizes out the wind, because the wind is kind of sweeping across the court instead of going straight into one of the team's face. It's just coming across, so you can use it to your advantage on both sides of the net. A little bit too aggressive of a serve there by Jen Fatma. But she has to serve that ball tough and get to the net. Remember, there's a full-time blockers out there, so both Carrie Walsh and Jen Fatma serve and run to the net.
4-4 here in set number 1, and Brooke Sweat again goes to that cut shot underneath the left hand of Carrie Walsh Jennings. Put up a big block at the net. That shot is just so perfect and fine by Brooke Sweat.
Brooke Sweat, only 5'8", but she manages the court so well, executes and puts that ball exactly where she wants it.
There's the dig in transition. And there's the block of Walsh Jennings. Controls it and then taps it back to the other side for the point. We're all tied up 5-5.
That's exactly what she has to do. She has to be a presence at the net. That's what Carrie Walsh is known for, getting in position and ready to be a force. Here you see up, over, controls it, and then taps it to the backcourt.
And a tough float jump serve by Whitney Pavlik. It's good for a point right down the middle. A little miscommunication. The pass goes into the net. So 6-5 for Whitney and Carrie. And Fatma goes from right to left and hits it off the block and good. We're all tied up 6-6.
I love to see that. The challenge at the net. 6-3 versus 6-3. Fatma versus Carrie Walsh.
Here we go.
And Walsh Jennings on 2, and that's something she didn't do very often with Misty May Trainer. That long, successful partnership that led to 3 gold medals. She's definitely doing it more with Whitney Pavlik, trying to stay aggressive.
Yeah, Whitney has to pass that ball, give her the option, and she has the option to either set it or go up and do that right there, put the ball away. If that ball's in the right position, it is very tough to defend against.
And another tough serve leads to a point. So Pavlik and Walsh Jennings, 8-6 here in set number 1. As we go to break, it's the 53rd Manhattan Beach Open. We're coming right back with more of the world's best beach volleyball. So much history, so many legends. The goal to get your name engraved on the pier. It's the Manhattan Beach Open, the 53rd Manhattan Beach Open, and we are throwing it back to the old school. No bleachers. Bring your beach chair, your blanket, and get a seat. Great atmosphere all weekend long, and we are in our women's final as Brooke Sweat puts it down the line. 7 now facing 8 here in the first set. Chris McGee along with gold medalist Dane Blanton, our sideline reporter Amanda Flugrad, and we're having a good time, Dane. It's been fantastic all weekend long. Walsh with the cover. And Walsh Jennings with the put away.
Well, Chris, absolutely. The great thing about this tournament is all the history. There's no stands here. It's kind of a nostalgic throwback event. I used to spend the night at the beach to see events like this, and the first 15 rows were gone by 6 in the morning. So it's good to have that style back and that history.
As the ball sails long, score goes to 10-7. I think that's what everyone fell in love with beach volleyball back in the day, those legendary battles of Hav and Dodd and St. John and Stokey and all the great players. Nina Matthews, Linda Hanleys, Kathy Gregory's. I mean, the list just goes on
Karch
and on.
Karai.
Karch Karai, and Steffes, Mingus, and Lee. I mean, the list just, if you were somebody in this game, you know, you played here and you won here. And there's the pier, and this is tradition to come out on a Sunday and watch the finals on the pier. Pavlik poke. Scores 11-8. You saw the cut shot by Pavlik. You're seeing 2 of the best defensive players in the world, Whitney Pavlik and Brooke Sweat, go head-to-head. 2 of the best blockers in Carrie and Jen. Here's Sweat from off the net. Walsh stays, and that ball goes into the net. So 12-8. Pavlik and Walsh Jennings on a run here.
Ball serving 8.
3-time gold medalist, 2004, 8, and 12. And they're on a 9-4 run. And that serve goes just long. Carrie kind of pointing to the back line, but
it was close.
It was close.
The bottom of it dropped.
You would have done the same thing, Dane.
Yeah, I'd go over there. I'd take a look. I'd have. She's still looking at it, and you know that the bottom dropped out. Did it touch any part of the line? Is the question, and I think it's just out of bounds. She's not going to put up too much of a
fight.
What
kind of gamesmanship did you have? I mean, of course, I know. I used to watch you play. I used to go over there and kind of check things for a while.
I would have had the ref come off the stand and look at that. No question. Oh, that's a huge hit. That's a way to come back right at it. But yeah, I might have hung on to it a little longer. I would have had the ref come down and look at it. Therefore, the next time it happened, that ref's going to think twice.
You talked to Carrie before the game. The ab, the shoulder, she seems to be in good health right now. I'd like to welcome everybody to the AVP 2013 Manhattan Beach Open. I'm Chris McGee here with Dane Blanton. Our score in the finals, Carrie Walsh Jennings and Whitney Pavlik 13-10 over Jen Fatma and Brooke Sweat. This is set number 1. And Pavlik from the right side goes to that rainbow looping shot down the line, and it's good for 14-10. We do play 2 out of 3. The first 2 are to 21, must win by 2. And if we go to a third, Dane, it goes to 15. And Amanda Pflugrad will be joining us. She's our sideline reporter. Walsh Jennings with that deep float. And here's Sweat from the left side, about 6 feet off. And Pavlik with some hustle, unable to come up with it.
Well, of course, Brooke Sweat and Jen Fatma have had Whitney Pavlik and Carrie Walsh's number, beating them last week in Salt Lake City and beating them this morning in 2 straight sets. So they have momentum on their side, they have confidence on their side, but they do not have the experience on center court on Manhattan Beach on their side. That goes to Whitney Pavlik and Carrie Walsh. Carrie Walsh 5 Manhattan Beach Open wins, and Whitney Pavlik has 2.
And Walsh Jennings looking for that 6th name on the pier, that 6th plaque. Shoots the line, 15-11. You mentioned, Dane, losing to this team twice. One of those was this morning in the winner's bracket quarterfinals, and they kind of dominated them.
Yeah, they did.
21-15, 21-13.
And that's
Carrie and Whitney said the adjustment is be aggressive. And what do they mean by that, be aggressive? Because you also have to be smart, Dane.
Well, exactly. You have to be smart and aggressive at the same time. The knock against Whitney Pavlik is sometimes she comes in and shoots the ball a little more often than not. She's focused on hitting more, being more aggressive, being more deliberate, and making sure that ball gets to the sand quickly.
You're kind of aggressive right now talking to me. I like it. And Whitney Pavlik, there it is, that high heat, and it skips off the left arm of Brooke Sweat. And we're going to break, 16-12, Carrie Walsh Jennings, she is back and on center stage once again as she looks for another Manhattan Beach title.
Due to time restrictions, we now jump ahead in the game.
And here we are in the second set, all tied up 14 apiece. Pavlik and Walsh Jennings, they hold a 1-0 set advantage. So many legends here today. Well, there's also some rising stars. Let's meet one of them on the women's side.
When I was a kid, I grew up probably as a ball girl at the Manhattan Open and volunteered and watched all the big pros playing, and I kind of fell in love with the sport at that point. So I was pretty blessed to grow up in this place. Just being here in this environment, like the home of beach volleyball, we kind of started playing in the local tournaments when we were 11, 12, 13. So I really grew up playing in the sand first. I've definitely always wanted to play on the AVP. When I was younger and I watched the tournaments, I was like, I want to do this when I grow up. So it's awesome that this day has come. I mean, I just started first year on the AVP, but I definitely have big goals, and hopefully I can start showing that to everybody soon.
Lane Carrico, 23 years of age, the 2011 ACC Player of the Year. She also was an All-American on the sand in 2012. She went to Miracosta High School, huge volleyball family, brother and sister, also great ballers. She was 74-1 her junior and senior years at Miracosta. She won 3 state championships. She got a 5th place finish this weekend. I am telling you, Dane, know that name, Lane Carrico. She's going to be around for a long time as Whitney Pavlik puts it away from the right side, 15-14.
Yeah, I love when we showcase the up-and-coming, the future. And you're right, she's going to be around for a long time to come, and we're going to be hearing a lot of that name.
God, I remember when you were an up-and-comer. And look at that dig. With the overhand, little tomahawk style.
And smart. She could have controlled that on her side of the net, but she knew that the court was open, deep, and tried to go over on one, and that was perfect.
And again, Pavlik. The dig over the net, good for the point, 17-14.
Those are huge defensive plays, and she's doing them against Brooke Sweat right there, bringing the heat, and she's just in the right spot, great balance, and then an overhand, kind of a little tomahawk dig right there. Here we go. Perfect once again.
17-14, 3-0 run for Carrie and Whitney. And that time Brooke does a little late turn off the hands down the line, 15-17.
Well, things are getting a bit urgent right now for Fatma and Sweat. They have to manufacture some points. I mean, with Pavlik and Walsh at 17, they're just trailing by 2. It's just a couple blocks or a couple digs that can turn this thing around.
Sweat just sitting right there in the angle. And look at that play. Carrie Walsh Jennings controls it.
And then puts it away. Plays, all these broken plays, and they're going to Walsh Jennings and Pavlik. They just seem to be more alert and more on top of things.
Yes. Carrie drops, digs, and then goes for an off-speed waterfall shot, comes up short.
Oh, the great Carrie Walsh. You're not going to see her
and you know she
miss
doesn't
that
like it either.
Shot very often, but she tried to be a little bit too precise to roll that ball just over the net. Didn't make it there.
16-18 here in set number 2. Chris McGee along with Dane Blanton and Amanda Pflugrad. The Manhattan Beach Open, south side of the pier. Fatma to serve. Floaty down the line. Pavlik, cross court, got it. 19-16, we're switching sides.
Well, now you're just 2 points away from a Manhattan Beach title. Carrie Walsh, of course, wanting to get back into the winner's circle, and especially with her new partner, Whitney Pavlik. And how special would this be for Whitney Pavlik? Be 3 years in a row?
It'd be incredible, and to have it with Jenny Kropp and then Carrie Walsh Jennings, it'd be fantastic. To the line, perfect shot.
When a shot like that goes down, you know how perfect it is, because Whitney Pavlik was on the run. She was all over the line shot, but the shot was just too good right there by Sweat.
Perfect pass. Look at that dig. Carrie will have a chance to attack for 20. Beautiful block and controlled. Sweat now has a shot. And Pavlik, cagey, bumping it over on one to the corner.
Yeah, a lot of these plays, she's just reacting quicker, Whitney Pavlik, and the defense, the adjustment by Sweat and Fatma is just not there. It's almost as if things are moving a little bit too quick. They have to be like a rubber band and go back in that defensive set immediately.
Game, match, championship point for Carrie and Whitney. Carrie at 35 years old. Whitney at 29. Whit's gonna have a chance for the title. And she's got it! Whitney Pavlik and Carrie Walsh Jennings have done it. 21-17 in the second set. They close on a 7-3 run, and they've captured the Manhattan Beach Open title. For Carrie, that's her 6th Manhattan Beach Open crown, her 110th career victory. Whitney Pavlik, her first AVP title, 12th domestically, and her 3rd Manhattan Beach Open title. We are coming right back as Whitney and Carrie take home the title from Manhattan Beach.